and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 27 today, and we are back for a massive moment in this series. We play our Europa League playoff with Dundee against Olympiakos, a massive Greek side who have been in Europe for years and years continuously. If we win it, we go into the Europa League group stages. If we lose it, I think we've got Europa Conference football. We'll check that in a moment. We've also recovered from our poor start to the season in the last episode with a couple of good displays, and there's loads of transfer action as well. Our director of football's going mad. We've got deadline day next Thursday coinciding with the second leg. It is all promising to be a very eventful episode. And as you can see from the team news at the top, we've got some goalkeeper troubles too. So just about everything you can think of is here. And if you're looking forward to this one, a massive episode in this series. From 3 years ago, unemployed, starting going to Breaking. And 1 year ago, being at Arbroath with 13 senior pros. We are now just one tie away from the Europa League group stages with a top half Scottish Premiership side. You could not write it. So if you're looking forward to that, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. A big one with Bangor tomorrow, European action there too. Then something special on New Year's Day before we're back with this one on Saturday for what I hope will be our first European group stage game. But let's start, as we do normally, by having a look at the transfers. At this stage of the season, we've always got to think about that. And Jay Hurd is fast becoming a hero, though he might be going a bit too far here. If we go and have a look at the ins, he's trying to get players in en masse. He's got an offer in for a centre midfielder or a holding player, a centre half from Hearts for fairly big money, and a young left back who won't feature in the first team. There's also potentially a left back in Jordan Marshall going out. Luton have bid nearly $500,000 for him, and then Scott Wright and Declan McDade who are being offered out on loan as well. We've also got a new signing in Hayden Cann who's being offered out, but he was a youngster anyway. So let's have a look at the history since the last episode. 4 players have come in, 2 of them youngsters, so Reece Webster, who came in from Alloa as a young striker, and Hayden Cann, who we just spoke about. He looks like he's going out on loan, having joined from Lincoln for 89 grand. So, it's not a massive investment, we can understand it. I don't know if he'll ever make it. He's got decent potential, so I guess we've got to trust the director of football. He's certainly done well so far. If we have a look at the other 2 though, they will contribute to our first team. We've got Omar Jagni, I think that is. He's come from Watford. We're contributing around 30 grand a month. 3 of that per week is wages, and then the other half must be a fee. But 3-star ability, 5-star potential. A natural left winger who can play off the right and number 10 as well. Sort of explains why he's letting McDade and Wright go. He's a good dribbler, he's got great first touch, and he's a good passer of the ball. So I actually quite like his attribute set. He's only 18, he's not going to make an instant impact, but I can see him featuring a bit, particularly if we have group stage football. We have 2 games a week. I can see that making a difference for us. And the other one is probably an experienced one we really did need, and that's Kevin Stewart from Birmingham. A natural holding midfielder or centre mid. At 29, he's got 3.5-star ability. He's a squad player on quite big money, which seems strange, but he's got an excellent personality. He's well known for his time in England. He played a little bit under Klopp when he first came to Liverpool. He also came through at Spurs and has played for the likes of Hull in the Championship, and then since this saver started with Cardiff and with Birmingham too. A big money move to Birmingham, which didn't quite work out. But he's still a very good player, and he's someone we're going to be looking to get the best out of. I can see him being an important player in the European games where the 2 centre midfielders need to be a bit more defensive. And with people like Pittman and Byrne who can't play 2 games a week, he probably falls in the same category, but it gives us options, and that's all we needed. So this is going to make a difference. He's strengthening the squad, and what I do worry is if he's going to go a bit too far with the signings, because there are some now that I'm looking at and thinking, you probably don't need to bring them in. So Jay Hurd certainly being active, certainly trying to help us, but I worry about what we're going to end up with. So we'll see what happens on that front. But of course, we've got to talk about Olympiacos. A massive game for us. Stewart not registered in time. Bentley and Chapman, both of our first 2 keepers injured. But we found a hero. So we'll talk about him in a minute. But the first game after that Hibs disappointment last time round was at home to Dunfermline, the promoted side. Now, it wasn't a vintage performance. It was certainly by no means a deserved victory. And it was by no means a comfortable one. Scott Pittman with a 91st minute winner. Carlton Morris getting a penalty after 5. And we just about nicked it. But wins are important at this stage. We've got a lot of new players to gel together. Even in that team, we had Bentley, Preston, Robertson, Richie, Hosler, Griffiths, Cooper. They're all new signings. And even off the bench, Chambers as well. So it is going to take a while, but we're getting back to winning ways and we're sneaking victories. We had the same against Morton in the League Cup second round, a 1-0 win thanks to Jakubiak's late goal. Our first backup this season because McGrath didn't come back. But it's going to take a while for the team cohesion to fit, so let's go ahead and meet the team for the Olympiacos game. And it includes this hero in goal, David Carmichael, who started against Morton, 17 years of age, 2.5-star ability, 5-star potential. He's a solid goalkeeper, not the best mentally, and he's going to need a lot of protecting today. We've got Olympiacos at home in the first leg, a clean sheet crucial, a good result important. I have made a few changes to the lineup just to try and give us the best possible chance, and this is the 11 I've gone for. And I think, aside from the goalkeepers, we've got our best possible 11 out today. So as a result of that, it's David Carmichael in goal, McGee, Adoffin, Akinola and Preston the back four, Goran, Pittman and Griffiths the midfield three, and Richie Hosler, Cooper and Morris the front three. We'll be looking to get a goal against the Greek Giants. We've got a good substitutes bench if needed, albeit some of them not quite match fit. So let's go and get into it. The first leg of our Europa League playoff, and this could be a monstrous moment in this series. How do you think we'll get on? Let me know in the comments below. We talked about this side in the last episode, some very well-known players, the former Celtic man on the bench, but also the likes of Matteo Darmian, Jan and Villa. They've got Pepe and Suarez in there as well, some really good players. So let's just go and get into the first half. We're going to get the lads to go and cause an upset. Of course, we're massive underdogs. And they're asking us about the transfer window. Why am I going to discuss that pre-match? Akinola's good to go. He's back from injury. So let's see what the first half brings. A very exciting moment for the Dundee fans. European football not been a major part of Dundee's life for a couple of decades. So let's try and make it happen now. As Preston comes forward down the left early on. It goes back into centre half to Akinola. Time on the ball finds Rodriguez Goran. Up to Morris. Good target man play. Plays a 1-2 with Pittman. And again, he surges past his midfield accomplice and gets it back to McGee. Don't know where the word accomplice came from there. McGee down the line to Richie Hosler. Morris is in there if he can find him. Gets to the byline. Delivers. Oh, it's a great finish. I don't know if it's just the way it looked. It looked like a cheeky back heel or something. It definitely wasn't an orthodox finish. Carlton Morris gives us the lead, just 7 minutes on the clock. And with our first shot on target, we lead the Greek side. 1-0 to Dundee, and this could be a very special episode. We're back as Carmichael's playing out from the back to Preston. A good first half so far, 10 minutes to half time. The away side haven't really had a threat. Now, we've seen it a lot in these sorts of games in Europe, in real life and in FM. They're a different monster at home. So the better we can do in this leg, the better chance we've got. We've got to try and hold them to a clean sheet, a blank, and we've got to try and get a couple ourselves. As Griffiths picks it up in the middle. Good football. Pittman finds Morris. Oh, he's hit the post. It was a whisker away from giving us an almost unassailable lead. And with 10 to the break, we're still struggling to get that second. But it's been utter dominance from Dundee here. Though Olympiacos cross it in. Just a couple to the break. Can Pittman counter? Gets it up to Morris. He's got a man over on the right, but he's going alone. Into the box, the shot's blocked. And he's forced wide by the corner flag. He crosses it in towards 3 or 4 in there. And he's headed away to Suarez. And this is where they're threatening. They've got a 2-on-3 here. And Suarez gets it in. He goes for the shot. And it's just over the bar. I think Carmichael had it covered, but he didn't look particularly convincing. No shots on target for Olympiacos. And at half-time, Dundee lead 1-0. So we're going to say we're pleased with the lads, get them to keep it up. And we'll take the same result in the second half, I think. Well, just 15 minutes to go. It has been an incredibly quiet second half. And again, we've not seen a shot on target from Olympiacos. They've not come out at all here. So let's try and get some players on the wing. Alan Forrest will be the right winger. And Cooper will be replaced by, I think, Chalmers. Because Janny looks a bit apprehensive. He's a bit tired. So let's just get 2 out-and-out wingers on. Logan Chalmers, of course, a hero in the stream save with Dundee United at the weekend. Well, we're hoping for the same from him here. And then a final sub, I'm not quite sure. The fullback ratings aren't great since the update, so we're not going to worry about them. They've been solid at the back and they've restricted them incredibly. So I think we're going to go for Byrne, who will replace Goran. And just have a deep line playmaker in there. A little bit less tired, fresh legs, and see what it does. 15 to go. We'll take this scoreline, I think. We wouldn't mind a second. We're dominating the match. But as it stands, 1-0 looks like a good result. And we're back as Olympiacos have got it at their own keeper on the edge of the box. Picks it up. Suarez flicks on. No, not like this. We haven't conceded a shot on target all day. Thankfully, the offside flag goes up because the rebound was going in. 7 shots on target, only 1 goal. It's a bit disappointing, but we've got a last-minute throw-in on the right. McGee into Forrest. If we can nick a second here, I will be absolutely delighted. We've lost the ball though, and it could be 1-1 at the other end. Suarez flicks it on. Good hold up by a Doffin, but he doesn't stop him. Suarez down the left. It's into the byline. He crosses it back. It's time on the ball, and Olympiacos could nick one here. It's into the box. Oh, it's just over. It was a great opportunity. The full-time whistle goes. It is 1-0 to Dundee. An exceptional performance. It should have been more. But the away leg, we know is going to be much, much harder. We've got a week of transfer news in between now and then we'll be back for the second leg. I'll see you there. We're back for the second leg, but there is news that we need to talk about off the pitch first. Firstly, let's go and have a look at the transfer news, because it's deadline day and there has been lots going on. A few players who were potentially going out that now aren't. No more current ins, but we've got a new club record signing, another new holding midfielder who was potentially coming in, and we've also had a couple of big players leaving the club, all of the 3 we expected in fact. So young Hayden Cam went out on loan to Southend. We've got Scott Wright who's gone to Blackpool, 13 grand a month, and they're paying most of his wages, so a good one for him. They've also got Declan McDade who's gone to Exeter, who are paying all of his wages. And the director of football has somehow got 450 grand from Luton for Jordan Marshall, the left back. Was really good for us last year. We owe him a lot because he was a good servant. But he's become third choice with the signings that have come in. And it's a good deal for us. It's a good deal for Luton. And I feel like he's going to have a good time there. So fair play to him. We've got 3 players coming in. One of which is a young left back who we're not going to get too excited about. We've then got a new record signing from Luton. And we've got a new young holding midfielder from Birmingham, which as you saw was already in negotiation. So 12 grand a month towards Dan Edwards, a 3-star ability, 5-star potential, Welsh under-21 international holding midfielder, a natural backup for Goran, can play as that deep line playmaker, 3-star ability in that role as well, which means Stuart can be a backup midfielder, and we've got cross cover for all 3 roles. So I'm quite pleased with that one, a fairly good deal, a fairly modest wage, we couldn't ask for much more. However, I'm quite worried about this deal from Luton. We lost out on Halkett, the centre-half from Hearts, and the replacement our director of football has gone for is Jaroslaw Jacques. Now, I don't think this is a good deal. You can tell me otherwise. 850 grand up front, rising to 1.2. He's the highest paid player on 7 grand a week. He's got 3.5-star ability, 3.5 potential. He's a natural centre-half, can cover at left-back and just about in the holding role. 29-year-old Pole, 2 caps for the international team. I mean, he's good. He's a good solid centre-half. He's got all the key attributes. Not the quickest in the world. Is he better than Akinola? Possibly. Is he good enough to be our record signing at 29 with no real future sell-on fee or anything like that? I'm not sure. He's done alright for Luton. He's played in other countries as well. He was at Crystal Palace briefly, did alright there. And he's played for various other teams. But I'm not sure that that's worthy of the record signing. And this is what I mean about our director of football perhaps over-signing. I don't know that deal was needed. But as it is, we've got him in. He's a solid player and he will contribute to the squad. But I'm slightly concerned about the fee. So let me know what you think of it. The other thing I haven't mentioned actually is in the schedule. We played Livingston at the weekend. And despite the referee's best efforts, we did come out with a win. Again, looking a little bit ropey defensively. But one of those goals was a screamer, and the other one was a penalty that was bordering on ridiculous. It didn't look like a foul, as the commentary stated. It was a clearly good challenge that went out for a throw-in, but my words, how many of those are we seeing? Little old Dundee not getting the decisions as it stands. We're playing the siege mentality card, and it's working because we came back. Carlton Morris got the goal in the first 30 seconds before those 2 moments, and then Sean Byrne and Logan Chalmers for the rotated side. Getting us 3 points, which were very much needed. If we look at the medical centre, we're picking up a lot of injuries. Jagny got a 4-week injury in that game. Logan Chalmers a 3-week one just after. We're still missing both goalkeepers, and we've got Cooper and Cammy Kerr, who just got back to training today. So that leads us to the team selection, with Stuart cup-tied, with Edwards cup-tied, with Jacques cup-tied as well. We're a little bit depleted. So let's go and pick our first 11. We'll be back in a moment for kick-off. I know this is a potentially silly decision. Aaron Chapman could possibly play today, but I'm going to stick with Carmichael. He's done really well in the games he's played. He's improving off the pitch, and he's going to be part of a good side again, I think. So it's Carmichael in goal. We're also going to stick with George Cooper despite his slight injury doubt. He just came back and I think he'll do 60-70 minutes. We've got young Barry Daly on the bench, but the 11 we're starting with is the same as the first leg. So into it we go. We hold a 1-0 lead and an away goal puts us in a great position, means Olympiacos need 3. So despite our structured mentality, I think that's what we're going to be chasing. The 6 changes back from the last league game, and it's our first 11 to face Olympiacos. And I think they've gone pretty much the same again as well. I think Kostas might have started last time, so that's a change. I'm pretty sure Urzi did as well. You may be able to correct me if I'm wrong. But otherwise, a very similar side. We've got the same again. So let's pump the fist, play the underdog card, and get into the second leg. Logan Chalmers out with injury. That is a shame. He probably would have started on the left if not. But into the second leg we go. It's a narrow diamond for Olympiakos. That might suit us with our wide men. So hopefully we can get on top as Hansen plays out from the back to Markovic. Time at centre-half, goes wide to Kleber. The right-back tries to play down the line, but instead forced inside. And we know that's going to be the tail all game. But they've got him from a straight clearance. Bebu's chipped the keeper. And that is just about the most pathetic goal you can concede. A straight ball down the middle, split the centre-halves, and chipped over the keeper. 1-0 Olympiacos and back on terms on aggregate. Well, we're into 1 minute of stoppage time. It's been a very quiet half aside from that. We're trying to play a little wider, but we've got a problem on the left. Cooper is absolutely shattered. I don't think we'll get more than 15 more out of him, and we haven't got a natural left-sided player to come on. So I don't know if we have to give up the tactic then. As Goran plays to Preston, can we get one on a stroke of half-time? It'd be a great moment into Richie Hosler, who heads over. If we score, Olympiacos need 3, or we're through on away goals if we lose 2-1. So it is an important one for us. We've had the better of the game. And I'll be devastated if we don't win it. I'm going to tell the lads to keep it up. We've got them all inspired. I'm just looking at Cooper's fitness. I think we've got 10 or 15 more out of him at most. And then we're going to have to bring on a right footer. And we're going to have to play without a natural winger cutting in. So it's going to be quite difficult. I guess we could look at playing maybe Chambers or Preston. But I don't know that either of them are good enough going forward. And with 25 left on the clock, we will see this highlight out. But then we're going to have to make the change. Cooper's got nothing left. Akinola clears it straight to Mvia though. It's not been a good performance in terms of defensively. We've let in a silly goal. The 2 centre-halves have got a poor rating. And now Olympiacos are on top as they come through the middle again. Up to the centre-forward Suarez. Back inside, but 30 yards out. We're sitting deep. We're keeping that sort of tight structure. But it's not enough. They're still keeping it easily. And Villa can go wide. He's got a man over. Instead finds Pepe. There it goes to the left to Damian. Back to Mvia. It's all Olympiacos at the moment. Suarez back. We just need to nick it and get a counter on. But instead, it's the home side coming down the right. The Greeks get it to the byline. They deliver to Bebu. And it's out off the outside of the post. It might have been offside anyway. But with 25 to go, we're in big, big trouble. Pittman is knackered. We're going to bring on Byrne. I think he's going to be the attacking centre mid. It doesn't really make a difference at this point. We're also going to replace a Cooper, and I don't know who with. Do we bring on Forrest or do we bring on Jakubiak? Who's the better of the two? Who's the better crosser? Who's the better wide man? I mean, neither of them can play left-footed, so I'm going to bring Forrest on. Richie Hosler, I'm tempted to switch him, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go inside forward on support. Alan Forrest is going to be the hero. On he comes. Byrne will be a supporting midfielder as well. And we'll just try and catch him on the counter. There's not much more we can do at this point. It's 1-0 Olympiacos, 1-0 on aggregate. And as it stands, we're going to extra time. But here we are on the left with Preston. Ball in towards Morris. Loses out in the air, but it's back to Goran. Byrne plays a 1-2 with him. He's got Richie Hosler out on the right. We just need one moment, one goal. If we do that, we're through. We won't concede 2 more. As McGee delivers, Morris chasing. It's through to Forrest. And what a super sub that's turned out to be. He had no right to get there first. It was a beautiful cross. Right in that corridor from McGee. And Forrest puts it away. We lead 2-1 on aggregate. And more importantly, we've got the away goal. That means the Olympiacos need 2 more. And it should mean we're through to the Europa League group stages. What a moment it is for this football club. I'm just going to give Morris a little rest. We'll bring on Jakubiak up top. In fact, no. Let's bring on Barry Daly, the youngster. He's training really well. He's 2.5-star ability. He's not a million miles away. And he works harder. He's not quite as good technically, but he'll do the job chasing. Dundee lead on aggregate. And we've got 1.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Surely we can't concede 2. Though if we concede one, it'll be a grandstand finish, and Suarez is in. It's a brilliant save by Carmichael. The young keeper with a wonderful stop. Into the back post, Markovic loses out. You're not giving a penalty for that. You've got to be joking. We've gone to VAR, so we know what's going to happen. But how many penalties are they going to give against us? While he's doing that, regardless, we're going to go and do the time wasting stuff. Because even if we concede, we want to then see it out for the last 30 seconds. We'll drop the line of engagement. We'll leave all the rest the same. With 30 seconds to go, VAR is potentially going to give us a grandstand finish. I like that pop-up in the middle of the screen. Makes it a lot easier to see. Don't you dare give it. Don't you dare. Penalty awarded. Oh, it's been a horror show for the centre-halves. Akinola loses the penalty there. Doffin got beat over the top for the first. And it's 18-year-old David Carmichael. Celebrated his birthday in the week. And he's now got the chance to be a hero. The penalty kick will be taken by Marlos. Oh, he saved it! Carmichael, you absolute legend. It's into Silva and Carmichael saved that as well. What a legend. The final whistle goes. It is Olympiacos 1, Dundee 1. We win 2-1 on aggregate. Carmichael, the 18-year-old, saves the penalty. He might be keeping his place in the first team at this rate. Unbelievable stuff. What a finish. And Dundee through to the Europa League group stages. I don't think we can do much more than praise them. We'll see out the rest of deadline day, 4 hours to go. And we'll be back for the draw for the Europa League group stages. I'll see you in a minute. Well, no further transfer news before the deadline pass, but what a grand finale we've got. The Europa League group stage draw. As you'd expect, given Dundee's sort of non-existent European record in the last couple of decades, they are seeded fourth. So let's go and draw the first three, and then take a look at which group we'd like to be in, and which one we'll end up in. Here we go then. Some absolute stinkers, and some groups I'd fancy my chances in. We can't be in Group E because Rangers are already in there from Scotland. I'm looking at groups like Group B with Arsenal and Wolfsburg. We can't get through there. However, I'm looking at certain groups and thinking I might fancy my chances. Maybe Salzburg and Karabag. That's probably about it in truth, but let's go through and see who we get. The first group, Ajax, Dinamo, Rennes, and not us. Arsenal and Wolfsburg, the one we really want to avoid, and we have. Next group up, Valencia, the Spanish giants, Bologna from Italy, and then a Turkish side as well. It's not a great group, and we haven't got it. Braga, Salzburg, Karabag. I wouldn't mind this, and we've got it. Do you know what? Of all the groups, I think that's our best chance to get through. And it's now given me a dilemma, because I was going to rest players for the Europa League and just enjoy the experience. But now I fear we've got a chance. What do I do? There's some great players in that Salzburg team still. But what an experience it's going to be. Braga, Salzburg and Karabag. And it's going to make this an exciting season. Season 4 of the head coach, and we're in Europe. What a rise it's been from our broth 12 months ago. Let's go and take a look at the schedule to see when we'll next be back. I mean, I think it's laid out pretty perfectly, don't you? We're going to play Aberdeen and Rangers off camera either side of the international break. We've then got a Europa League group stage debut away at Karabag. And then we've got the Dundee derby at home on the Sunday. So it's going to make it very hard in terms of team selection decisions. But it's a massive episode. We cannot turn it down. So if you did enjoy this one, the manic transfer deadline day, the big result against Olympiacos, and of course that group stage draw, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It's turning into a meteoric rise this series, the best we've ever had. And we'll make the most of it, because years like this don't come around too often in the head coach. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We're so close to 2,000 subscribers as I'm recording this. So thank you for your support. I hope you're still enjoying the series. And this one will be back in 3 days' time. We got something a little different on New Year's Day after our European action with Bangor tomorrow. And then this will be back on Saturday at 3:30 PM for our Europa League group stage debut. And a big old derby as well. You can see all the other playlists on the channel in the eye above, as well as the link to the podcast channel. Thank you for your incredible support with both. And I'll see you next time for European group stage football with Dundee, as we try and rotate this massive squad we've acquired and try and have success across the board. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for all the action.